Hey,
I'm trying to use this green screen today. I don't know
oh,
what I'm
fantastic.
doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I used
Hey,
it
that's
early and it
okay. You
worked
got to
fast.
experiment.
I
Experiment.
used it early and it worked fast. So I don't know what the problem is. Hey, everybody, and welcome to Opinions.
Ooh, opinions.
What's
And
your
opinions
name?
are like, what?
What assholes? Everybody get what? And what's your name, big girl?
This is opinionated Lorie.
Opinionated Lorie. Girl, I bet you full of opinions. I bet you are so full of them.
Sometimes.
This is opinions. This is an interactive show. It's an interactive show live on Facebook. Right?
Yes.
Is that what it is? Something like that?
Yes, we are live on Facebook and also podcast. What platforms are we available on, Katie?
Girl, if I tell you something that I found out,
What did you
as
find
the
out?
song say, the song say, yesterday. I, I can't sing, I can't tell
All
you.
my troubles seem so far away.
That's just how it goes. Listen. So I told you I have been trying to get the show on other streaming apps like Spotify, like Google,
Mm-hmm.
like Apple, like iTunes.
Ooh.
But we are so blessed.
Oh yeah. Tell me more.
iHeart picked us up.
iHeart Radio.
Yes, listen,
Whoa!
our
That's a
podcast,
round of applause. Woohoo! All right.
our podcast is now on iHeart Radio. You can listen on iHeart. Isn't it
That
wonderful?
is wonderful. Just in case, I know everyone has their own time frame. So if you can't make the show on Tuesday nights, then yeah, listen to us on iHeartRadio now. And
That's right.
where else are we?
Or Spotify.
Yeah,
Okay.
fantastic.
Or Apple Podcast. I
Whoa.
mean, it just grows. But now I want to share this with you. So everybody say a prayer for me and cross everything you got. If your eyes don't cross, try to cross.
Sometimes I think mine do.
But listen, girl, the wonderful thing is I hope in the next 30 days we're going to be on Amazon.
What? Amazon?
Girl, let me tell you, I got something from them. I got something from them.
Okay.
Oh, Ann Peterson said, congratulations. Well, thank you, Ann.
Thank you,
You
Anne. Thank
know
you so
what?
much.
We should send Ann an invitation to join us today because I want to tell you something about her. You think I got opinions?
Uh-oh. And yeah. And we have some exciting subjects to talk about today too.
Well, honey, I listen. I'm gonna send her an invitation. She might come in and join us, and then she might not. But
Okay.
honey, you think you are opinionated, baby?
Oh,
This
bring
is
it on,
one,
Anne. We want to know. We want to know what you think.
and I'm gonna put this link on the screen. And if you'd like to come and join us, see, I know she's here because I see her. I want you to come join us because this you talking about opinionated. I won't even have to be in the screen. I can go back there and make me some oatmeal.
Ah! So how about this, Katie? How about I tee it up and let you know what we're gonna talk about on this podcast?
Okay, girl, come on, let's come and tell me
All
what we're
right.
gonna talk about because I have no idea.
Well, so it's been a I say a kind of a busy news sort of a week and even day for today. So first thing we're going to talk about is Mayor Lightfoot has the Rona. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, and then also we're going to talk about this something really tragic, that apartment building fire that happened over in Bronx, New York. I think 19 people so far have been killed, and
Oh,
just
wow.
scores of people injured. So, we want to talk a little bit about that, building safety, landlords, how can they be should they be held accountable, or how much so? And then the other thing we want to talk about, this is kind of interesting. I didn't even know about this.
Mhm.
That Shaquille O'Neal, he has a big chicken franchise opening up in Rosemont. Interestingly enough, interesting that it's not in Chicago, but it's in Rosemont,
You talking
and
about the
he's
shack?
Shaq, and he's a majority shareholder of this of not just the franchise of the entire company, and he's franchising it out to
Oh.
different to people that are interested and that have the financial wherewithal. So
Ah.
yeah, so that's what we're going to talk about. So should we just dig in right now and talk about Lorie Lightfoot? It was just announced probably about an hour ago that she has coronavirus, and she's at home, and
Mhm.
she's still working. I think she said she has cold like symptoms.
Mhm.
And it's interesting. It's really interesting, especially what's happening with CPS, and she has the luxury of being at home, and yet I think she's trying to force the teachers to go into the classroom.
Well, I don't think she tried to force them to go into classroom. I mean, they are represented by a union.
Mm,
Okay, that they're represented by the Chicago Teachers Union, which is powerful. When I
yeah.
say it's powerful because I mean, if you ever worked a union job, and I have CTA, that was my one of my union jobs that I worked. And when you have a union backing you up as big as the Chicago Teachers Union, and they come up under that umbrella,
Mm,
I think that umbrella, like they call it, what it's like, Teamsters,
mm,
they come up under that umbrella. And anybody know that if you belong to anything that has to do with the Teamsters or any of those big unions like that, you got power.
right.
So the teachers had to take a vote on that, and
But
they
here's the thing, though.
what
I
is
mean, I understand that, but what about her? I get back to the same thing that I keep mentioning about her is she really needs to work on her negotiation skills, because and I understand them, her wanting to get people, the kids in the classrooms and all that. But the
Mhm.
problem now, and this is really kind of speaks to her lack of kind of communicating with people,
Mhm.
is that the kids that are back in school, it's a hot mess. They're saying that a lot of because of coronavirus, a lot of the teachers are not there. You have 40 kids in a classroom because the teacher is not in there and able to teach them. The protocols for with masks is horrendous. A lot of the kids are not wearing their mask. I mean, how do you enforce that? And we know that this Omicron variant is really very, very transmissible. So it's just I can appreciate the spirit behind it. She wants to get to a point of normalcy, but we're not in normal times, and I think that it was a bit premature to send them back out there.
Well, right now is listen. This is just my opinion. Right now is not the time. You know why? Listen. Though I'm going to say this about the teachers, and I love them all. I do. I respect them all because they're I mean, they're just like frontline workers.
Oh,
Okay,
absolutely, they
they are
absolutely are
just
front line.
they are just like those frontline workers. And
Hmm.
let me say this. I say that they have a union, and they have,
Okay.
believe me, they got the backings of a powerful union. Okay, they are under that umbrella that will kick boots. They will stand up for you. Okay, and I know because hey, I drove the bus for CTA. I know what that union is about. Some people don't
Hmm.
like some people don't like the union and they talk against the union. But I tell you what, that union will stand for you. That union's going to make sure you get a fair wage, good working conditions. Okay,
Hmm.
and they're going to give you more than a comfortable living. They're going to give you a living that can be very comfortable because they're going to make
Hmm.
sure those wages and those benefits are right for you. Now, those teachers voted. They voted last night and they voted to go back into that classroom.
Mm.
Okay, if they didn't want to go, they ain't got to go.
Yeah, but you know what though? It's the other part about it, and that's very true, but there's also the side that it's, they had to give a little bit as well, so they couldn't appear to be inflexible. So I think they probably voted against their own interests,
You
when
think
you look at
so?
it. I
Do
think
you
so.
think
I think they're sitting ducks. I mean, they're saying that most
so?
people are going to get this variant, so now they're setting themselves up to get sick, and then they're going to be, well, it's already happening now. A lot of the teachers are not there. A lot of the students are not even there. A lot of them are sick too. So maybe the situation is kind of taking care of itself. So they'll be forced to do the
Maybe,
remote learning.
maybe, maybe, but I just know that they have powerful unions behind them.
Yeah.
Okay, and I see two of my friends on here. I don't know why y'all don't get take this link right here, put it in your smart device, and come on in here on the screen with us and tell us what you think. Don't just
Yeah.
type
Don't
in.
be shy.
That's right. Don't type it in the comment section. I want to
Yeah.
see your face in 2022.
And especially if you're a union person, I definitely, just like Katie mentioned, she's very familiar with the union environment, worked in the union environment. I've my very first job, I worked at Butera Finer Foods out in Downers Grove, Illinois,
Yeah.
and I was in the cashiers union. So, but at the time, I mean, what was I making, $1 an hour? Well, not that bad, but not much more than that. But
Now you were making. Listen, it was a long time before that wage jumped because, like we were
hmm
talking about it the last time, I told you
yep.
in 1968 it was $1 and what I say 60 cents an hour.
Yep.
I mean, this is what over 50 years later,
hmm So
and
just
guess
think,
what?
you're paying that, or being paid that, but then out of that money, you have to pay the union, the dues. So for myself, I looked at it as, oh my God, this is cutting into my movie money or whatever I spent my money on
Yeah,
back then.
yeah. But
Records, maybe, I don't know.
that union is, I tell you, you find something. Listen, when you get a chance, talk to some people who were not in a union and that who worked 35 or 40 years and were only paid $7.25 an hour.
Mm,
Okay, and talk to them about what their lifestyle is like after they retired and they worked all those years, and because they didn't have a union to pull them up in that uh, cost of living increase,
mm.
and that employer just paid them a little dollars, and when they got ready to retire after 30, 30, 25, 30 years, and they got their social security checks, they were pissed.
Mm. Yep. So,
Because
but now
you haven't
here's
made any money, but
you
you
bring up
need
a
to
good
do
point though. Are unions relevant though at this time? I mean, in this day and age, because people are not staying at companies long. I mean, you're lucky if someone stays at a company, 5 years.
say what.
So are unions even relevant anymore nowadays? I mean, I think the workforce has changed. Work habits, the longevity that people are at companies. I mean, it's a different day. And back in the day when people stayed 30 years, that's, I mean, a rarity now.
Well, I mean, it used to be this way before your time, because I'm an old lady. Honey, you used to work.
You're
you,
not old.
you used to go work when you got 55. It used to be a time when you could retire at 55 with
Right.
full benefits. You can't do
Yeah,
that
because
no
you've already put 30 years into the
more.
company,
Right.
at that
Now,
age, right?
now you can't do that no more because
hmm
what? Every year they go up. 72, then 73, and then 74. You look around and they'll say, well, you won't get full benefits until you're 80 years old.
Right, right, exactly.
Okay? But that time, but some of us will still be in good shape, but some of us will have one foot on the banana peel and another one over the fence. We'll never get a chance to enjoy a retirement check.
Very
So
true.
believe me, those unions, they stand for something. Really, they do. They really
hmm
do. Like everybody's got their opinion. That's just mine. Let me leave that
Right,
alone. Let me leave
right. That's true. Yeah, I just think that that they probably were appropriate at that time. But now I just think that, I don't know, maybe we need a new and improved type of a union that will help
Well, how you think we
people.
got? How do you think we got that $15 minimum wage in the city of Chicago? Now you can go to Oak Park and they ain't got to pay you that, and you can go
Right,
to Berwyn and they ain't got to pay you that, and you
right.
can go to Justice and they ain't got to pay you that. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Yep, yep.
Any of the other suburbs, but if you work in the city of Chicago, they gonna pay you $15 an hour. You know how they got that? Union. They fought for 15. All that's the McDonald workers who
Mm-hmm.
would be out there on the picket line fighting for $15. They fought for that, and that's how they got it. If they hadn't fought for it, girl, they would still be making what's the minimum wage? About $7.25.
So
You
was it the union, or was it the kind of a union mentality? Because I don't think we were able to get unions, or any more unions, let's say, except for
know,
Starbucks. I think they're saying Starbucks is trying to unionize.
honey, they trying. They already got two stores. You
Okay,
know what?
here in the city of
Go
Chicago.
ahead and go ahead. Yeah, two stores. I'll be right back. Keep talking.
Oh, not sure what happened. Well, hey, call in if you guys want to give your voice, your opinion. 224-484-0962. We'll be happy to take your opinions here on the show with the same name, Opinions. So give us a call. What do you think about unions and the Chicago Teachers Union, and should the kids be forced to go back to school, and the teachers? We want to hear from you all. 224-484-0962.
Okay, somebody say with all the taxes Chicago has, they need that $15. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That's, I mean,
With the
and let's
cost
face it,
of living
15 is not even a
too.
livable wage.
It sure is. With the cost of living, you still have to save two checks to pay rent on a studio.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I
I
mean,
almost think that there should be, and I think they have done this somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where it's a graduated scale. Well, let's say if you are over 21, then your minimum wage, let's say, should be like $20 per hour. And then for kids that are working through college or whatever, then it will be fine to pay them the 15. I feel like that would be something a bit more sustainable, and something that's more realistic.
well, see, my thing is, I think it should be equal wages for everybody. I believe if you go out there, excuse my French, and shovel that shit, and I stand next to you and shovel it too, I want the same amount of money they paying you. I don't if I'm 18 or 19 and I'm shoveling next to you and you 30, don't cut my wages. I'm doing the same thing you do.
Right. Well, I
Okay.
mean, there's an argument that I can see what you're saying, but the majority of 18-year-olds, they're going to have the backing of their parents, or some sort of guardian that will kind of help them. And once they get over 18, or maybe 18 is the cutoff. Maybe when you turn 18, you're eligible for the full minimum wage, and under 18.
Oh
I
no.
just I don't think that a 16-year-old necessarily needs to get paid the same thing as somebody that's over 21, who could possibly have a family or children to
So
take
if
care of.
if you 16 and I'm 30, okay. Now your
Hmm.
energy is probably much good because you're a 16-year-old. The energy is going to be much better. You're going to have more stamina.
Right.
Okay. And we're out here on Madison and Pulaski, and all the sewers are back up and the street just full of shit. And you
Hmm.
got a shovel and I got a shovel. Both of these shovels weigh the same amount. And we knee deep in this stuff. It's up to our knees.
Hmm.
And you 16 and I'm 30. So you think that they should pay you less than they pay me? And we should both shoveling?
Right.
And that stuff stinks. It stank to you
Hmm.
like it stank to me. We doing the same job. And you 16 years old, so you think they should pay you less money than they pay me. I should get paid more because I'm older. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm saying that you don't have to necessarily maintain a family. You don't have as many responsibilities. I just think that we have to look at it in aggregate, big picture. It's like, okay, well, perhaps, and just this is considering the employer. Maybe an employer can't afford to pay everyone, let's say $20 versus 15. So it makes sense that, you'll have a younger worker, and then more than likely they're going to school, and they'll probably end up end up doing something else as a career, or maybe not. Maybe they might stay in that career,
I
and
know
then
that's my mama.
they'll get that raise once they get to be, of age.
I like you, but you ain't gonna be my mama.
Yeah.
You ain't sad about work for me.
Well, you say your kid's not going to be working for peanuts.
Ooh. They say your mama say she signed this work permit and you can go out there and do that same job that Miss Lowe doing and you ain't gonna give us six. I will pay her $33. I'm gonna pay you 12.
12. I think 15 is good. 15.
Girl, I would have listen. My jaws would probably have so many rocks in 'em. I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't be able to talk because I mean, by me being a senior, I just feel like, girl, if I'm up there climbing the pole and you climbing the pole, I want the same money that you get, whether I make it up the pole or not. I'm trying to climb.
Oh my goodness. Well, it sounds like you're definitely a very good advocate for young people.
But I just think they should be. I think they should be paid the same thing. I don't think that. I guess. We've been discriminated on so many. As Roman would call them isms, we've been
Mhm.
discriminated. So I just feel like I don't know. Now is a chance for people during the coronavirus. Well, we're still in the pandemic, but people found out
Mhm.
what they were worth. They were going
Absolutely.
downtown waiting tables and they were getting minimum wage and tips. But once they realized, look, just because I'm waiting a table, that's no reason to pay me $7. I'm
Mhm.
important, and I'm important to this company. My service, what I do, keeps you in business.
Absolutely.
Pay me like that. And
Yep.
once people realized when they gave them that extra unemployment, they realized what they were worth.
Yep.
Their
And they
value.
realized how much control they had. They didn't realize
Girl,
that they had power or control.
talk
So
to me, girl.
what do they say?
Talk
There's
to me.
strength in numbers, right? And if
Absolutely.
everyone says, "Oh, to heck with it, we're not going back to work," well, we know what that means. So
Yeah.
here's the other part of this. Kind of getting back to Lori Lightfoot and COVID-19. So here's my other question, and I just been really wondering about this.
Mhm.
Should we have another lockdown? I mean, if this thing is so, they're saying it's so contagious, and that, and I think the CDC, they said that they think everyone is going to contract it. So, do we need to be locking down again? I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, that's Georgia Lee. She says, "Hello, everyone." She's a regular a fan of ours.
Ah, Georgie. Hi,
Yeah,
Georgie.
Georgia Lee Adams. She tunes in all the time. I've been trying to get her to come on the screen, but she's always got an excuse for me today. I want to show you the Hold on before we get back on the subject. Georgia Lee, this is the link right here. If you would like to join us on the screen and give us your opinion, Lorie can tell you what we're discussing right now.
Yeah, yeah. We're talking about. Well, we started out talking about Mayor Lightfoot, her diagnosis with COVID-19. She's doing well. She has cold-like symptoms, so so far nothing really extreme. But so we're just we talked a little bit about that, and now I'm just wondering, like, should we be in a lockdown? It's just they're saying this is a very very contagious. The Omicron strain is very contagious. The CDC has even gone as far to say that everyone's going to catch it, which that kind of makes me nervous. They said whether someone's vaccinated or not. So
Oh,
obviously
wow.
we know because of the science that being vaccinated does help you from either being hospitalized or worse, from death. So there is some benefit, according to science for that. But I don't know. I don't want to catch it. I mean, I'm vaccinated and boosted and everything that there that there is for now. But I don't know. I don't know if I really want to be around people, so should we be in lockdown? Let us know what you think. You can call 224-484-0962, or you can click onto the link and give us your opinion.
That's right. Because your opinion, whether you know it, your opinion does matter, you know, and you have to start speaking out. If you don't want to show your face, call the number 224-484-0962. All right. And give us your opinion on the air. Let us know how you feel and what you think about it. Myself, I've been locked down ever since, you know. I
Yep.
think I've been out maybe 3 times,
Hmm.
and
And now the masks are important. So now they're saying you can't just
it-
wear the a cloth mask. You have to have one of the with the KN95 or the N95.
yeah,
I have.
yeah.
Oh, I don't have it up here with me, but I have some cute little really colorful KN95 masks, and
Oh,
hey,
let me. You
I'm
got
rocking that
colorful one?
everywhere I go. What's
You have
that?
the colorful one. You have the colorful mask.
Yeah, so I bought a pack of like 50, and I have teal and purple and
Oh, really?
tan and just all kinds of colors.
Well, I'm gonna show you guys my favorite one. I have to take my glasses off.
Ah, oh, you're fancy with it. That's cute.
And I love wearing this mask. It has a filter on the inside.
Now the only
But
thing though, that one is not a KN95, so you probably have to double
no, it's
mask with that one.
not. But I have the little bitty throwaway mask that I wear under here.
Underneath it, yep,
Oh yeah,
yep.
you
That's
know.
that's what's up, having that either the KN95 or the double mask. Well, wait a minute. Who is our other co-host here? You have to introduce. You guys can't hear it on the podcast, but there's a cute little fluffy
Say
friend.
hey,
Who is
hey.
that?
Oh, Deja, now she made me put her up here in my lap, but now she don't want to say
Now
hi.
she got shy on us.
Hey, say hi to everybody. Say hi.
Oh, hello,
Say
Deja.
hi.
What a cute dog. What kind of dog is she?
This is a Shih Tzu.
She's a Shih Tzu, and she's just gorgeous. She has you see her little ponytails up on her
Girl,
over
yeah, she
here.
a girl. She a
Oh my
girl. She
gosh.
got to represent.
She's adorable.
Now,
I think Deja is all about the quarantine and having a lockdown, huh?
oh, girl, she loves it. Nobody here but me and her.
That's why I wonder because I have a dog, and I just wonder how are they going to deal with once everyone, and not just I mean all dogs, they're used to their owners being at home. Once we get back to normal, hopefully we will. How are these dogs going to respond? Are they going to be having separation anxiety and barking all the time? It's kind of an unknown.
Honey,
It's going to be very
you might
interesting.
have to take somebody. Wait a minute. Somebody says, I'm staying in the house, and only time I go out is to take care of business.
Yeah.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
basically, that's me too.
Yep.
Grocery
Same here.
store, doctor's office, and that's about it. You know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my full time job,
about it.
I work from home, but they're actually saying that my company we're going to be going back in March, so that'll be interesting.
Oh
And
wow.
we're going back only 3 days a week, so 3 days out in the office and then 2 days at home.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, so that'll be. I think I'll like that a lot better. I'm more of a people person. It's kind of a little isolating being at home, all
I'm
the
gonna
time.
throw this in the universe. Hopefully, they'll work you Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and you can be off Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, they are requiring Mondays,
Uh-huh.
and they said Mondays, and then I think they said Wednesday, no, one Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, or Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, I believe they said.
Oh
So,
wow. So to give you nice time at home.
yep.
That's
Hmm.
beautiful.
Yeah, so that'll definitely be nice. But I mean, I haven't been in an office, and it's been 2 years since it'll be 2 years in March.
Well, the ugly part about it is you never know who has COVID, you know. And, and
Mm-hmm.
and the thing is, you never know who got the vaccinations, who got the boosters, because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even in the world of the NFL and the NBA and professional sports team, there are people that are playing sports that they haven't been vaccinated.
Yep. And I
Okay,
think because of HIPAA, it's complicated that they can't necessarily, divulge someone's vaccination status. So
right.
that's kind of interesting. That one I kind of feel like in just for the sake of public health, I would think that that should be something that people should know because you need to know what your exposure is going to be to a person.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And every time we come out with something like they came out with the breakout of shingles, uh,
Mm-hmm.
one time and then the breakout of deja vu, of meningitis. You know how they come out with different viral infections where you
Mm-hmm.
have to be vaccinated for them. And with COVID, people are not going to tell you that if you say that you've been vaccinated, you've had your booster, a person's
Mm-hmm.
not going to tell you, oh, no, I don't believe in the vaccine. They're not going to say that.
Right. I
So,
have a pin here, and I'm not going to say what it says. I'll show it to you, and especially for the podcast. But let's see if we can see here.
okay,
Oh
let me
wait,
put my
let's
glasses on. I can't. The pen.
science. Science doesn't give a bleep
Okay,
what
about
you believe.
your. Okay, yeah, okay. I see. Yes, absolutely.
So yeah. So when it comes to
Yeah.
science, it kind of it is what it is. So we can debate all we want, but you have some people that are on the fringe that, they have these what were they saying back in the Trump era? Alternate facts, and believe in whatever they want to believe. But I mean, it's very clear, that the vaccines do help. So it's not the end all be all. It doesn't mean you're not going to get the virus, but myself personally, I feel a bit more confident walking around in the world knowing that I have a vaccine that could potentially, save my life and keep me out of the hospital. So, yeah, but all right. Well, let's see.
I
We're
wanted to say that
mhm.
I'm very surprised that Mayor Lightfoot didn't catch COVID before now because she's
That is
just.
true.
I mean, you think about all these people that she's around constantly,
Hmm.
okay?
Absolutely.
And I mean, I'm quite sure she has some reservations about people that she's around, and I mean, there's nothing written on them that said I had all three shots, you know,
Oh, absolutely. Oh,
and
yeah. I'm sure she's in all kinds of. I mean, especially the
right.
different city hall and uh, just the different meetings that she's in, and just lots of people. I mean, there's like how many aldermen are there? Like 50 whenever she goes to the aldermanic meetings and officiates. It's a lot of people to be around. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a miracle that she didn't catch it.
And then you have city employees that don't want to get vaccinated,
Hmm.
but if you've got to be in close proximity with the public on a
Hmm.
public street where there are people, you should. I mean, come on, think about it. You should get vaccinated.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You see what does it
Yep.
say?
Definitely.
The new COVID, she say, is more contagious.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's more contagious, but not as I guess dangerous or it's more virulent, but not as dangerous. You don't have the risk of death like you do with the Delta or the Alpha, the original one.
We get
So all right, let's move on to our next subject if we
all
can. So the
right.
next thing is that apartment fire. That was just terrible. 19 people killed, and just scores of people injured in the Bronx, New York apartment building. And I think what happened with that is they had a space heater that malfunctioned, or that was actually close. I think it was close to some bedding or curtains, and also just kind of a public service announcement. If you are using space heaters, please make sure that you have enough room around it where nothing is touching, like curtains or bedding or furniture or anything like that, because that's just a deadly, deadly combination. So make sure you, or if they're old and they're not functioning properly, get rid of them and buy a new one. It's not worth it to be cheap and, lose your life or have other people lose their lives. But anyway, yeah, so that was really an unfortunate sort of tragedy, but it kind of makes me wonder, like, okay, are these landlords really maintaining their building properly and providing enough heat for tenants? Because if you get to the point where you need a space heater, something's not right. That means you don't have control over your heat, and you're not able to be able to heat it adequately, and having to use a space heater or something like that.
Yeah, that's already a danger. Just the word space heater, from
Mm-hmm.
hearing what happened over the years, it's already a mentally danger in dangerous
Mm-hmm.
to my mind just to think about that.
Yep,
But
absolutely.
I will say that I've been putting out a few little jokes here about people not paying their rent. I don't want anybody to take it serious that I'm talking about anybody, but I thought maybe you saw the little cartoons out there that I made because there are some people that I mean it's cold outside, nobody wants to be evicted, but we were talking about the fire and the space
Mm-hmm.
heaters and stuff. I say this to we've been in COVID, so a lot of people have gotten away with paying utilities and because they could say because of COVID
Oh
it's like
yeah.
hardship. But then there are some people, I'll say just like myself, COVID didn't stop my checks from coming
Mm.
because I'm on a fixed income, so I
Yep.
got my checks every month, so it didn't stop anything. But I know how it did affect some people.
Absolutely.
And I'm
Yeah.
saying for those that were not affected by COVID, you should have been paying your utilities and your rents and all of this because landlords they have an obligation to the mortgage company, just
Yep.
like the tenants have an obligation to pay the landlord the rent.
Yep.
And the landlord has an obligation by the city of Chicago. They must give you running water and heat.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Yep.
Whether they get paid or not, they better be paying that light bill,
Yep.
that gas bill, and they better pay that water bill because they will get fined if they
Exactly.
don't. And probably you find one of them shyster lawyers, you'll have the landlord up in court.
Absolutely. And I suspect that this what happened in Bronx, New York. I'm sure there are several lawsuits that are probably in the works now, because you are exactly right, Katie. They really are obligated to maintain the building. What is that? Oh, making sure that they have adequate heat. Obviously, it must have been cold in there if people were running space heaters,
Yeah.
and it was a pretty big building. I want to say it was like 15 stories.
Oh yeah, I
I'm not
saw
sure how many
that was
units.
a nice big skyscraper. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Now I'm gonna drop the bomb. I
Uh
gotta
oh.
drop the bomb.
Well, drop the
The
bomb on
bomb
me.
is the bomb is I've got the y'all can go to my page and see them, and I've shared them on TikTok. It's about paying your rent. Okay.
Mm,
Now some of y'all got money to pay your rent, and you know you got it. You're riding around here in your big cars, and some of y'all preachers.
mm,
Okay. You go to church, you anoint everybody, you give them communion, you want to pray for 'em, but you ain't paying your rent. So when you
mm,
don't pay your rent and you have the means to pay your rent, you want the landlord to take you to court, all right? But you run, I mean, you listen, I know some people like this. They tell me, girl, I saw the landlord today and honey, I hid. She, honey, I heard her opening that door and I hid. I ran
oh
and
my
hid.
goodness.
And I stayed here till she left.
Oh, that's
And I said, well, why
terrible.
you just don't pay her rent? Girl, we in COVID. Well, you're going to have to pay it sooner or later anyway.
Yeah. See,
So when you
that's
don't pay the landlord your rent, you put yourself in jeopardy. Because
absolutely
guess what?
not that that gives the that doesn't that you as irresponsible, and
You,
as much as I totally just disagree with a person not paying their rent because they feel that the landlord can take it. I mean, I think the landlord still is obligated to make sure that the heat works. That's, they have to, I mean, just from legally and just morally, like, why would you want to have a
Morally,
building and
you're
you
right,
have
but
people that are freezing to death in
but
there?
some people don't understand. Your rent help pay bills.
Right. That's true.
You know,
That is true.
some people with these apartment buildings, if they got a 4 or 6 unit, they mortgage can be $6,000 a month,
Absolutely.
and they still got to heat the bill. They got to heat the building and give you running water. Pay your doggone rent. I
Right.
mean,
Pay your
now,
bills.
girl,
That's well, it's funny, like, just growing up, that was something that, my mother, she definitely taught me that I don't care what you have going on. I don't care what party you want to go to. You know, first thing, pay your bills. That's or pay your rent. That's like the primary one. Then pay your utilities. And then anything else. And if there's something left over, then okay, go get that new outfit. But you have to, it's all about having priorities too. So, but that's the same as, a landlord. They have a priority to make sure that the building is maintained. They might want to go and take their vacation or do whatever, and no, well, you know what? I don't need to get a new furnace for this building. And in the meantime, you have tenants that are, putting space heaters. But see, things come back to bite you, because of them not doing that. What happens? Their building burns down. There's loss of life. They risk, lawsuits. Their insurance rates are likely going to go up once you have to make a claim, which for sure they're going to have to make a very large claim, especially with loss of life. It just kind of, they've just bought themselves even more problems. So it's a tragedy that happened. And yeah, I pray for all the people that have had to go through that, or people that have lost loved ones. But yeah, I'm hoping that more landlords, they'll look at this and they'll take heed and make sure that, I'm a landlord myself, and I tell you one thing, I'm a stickler about I have fire extinguishers on both entrances, and for my units, and I make sure just outside the ice is there's salt put out. It's just it's just the right thing to do. So
but I bet you're not having any problems with your rent either.
no, I'm not.
Now,
Thankfully.
let me say this to you too. Another thing, another stickler about rent in Chicago, because I live in Chicago.
Hmm.
The rental laws in Chicago are much steeper than they are in the suburbs.
Oh yeah, Chicago has some of the
Oh,
best laws. I used to rent in the city of
oh.
Chicago, and they really do protect the landlords hate it, but they do protect the tenants. Some people think
They
too
all,
much.
they look like they all out for their doggone tenant.
Right.
The laws are, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yep.
Mhm. So
So
in the
in
suburbs,
a
it's
way,
a
it's
little
it's
more
it's kind
relaxed.
of good. So perhaps that wouldn't have happened here in Chicago. I'm not sure about New York and their laws. They may have different laws. I know that New York, they have more co-ops, which are kind of like in between renting and ownership. I guess you own a certain share, and they have different laws around that. And I think they do have rent control in New York, whereas they need it there because their rents are just, in Manhattan, a crappy studio apartment will cost you, almost $2,000, which is just unbelievable. Like tiny, not even, not even 600 square feet. So it's just
You can
very
barely
expensive.
turn around in it, huh?
Yep, exactly. Where Chicago, they say that in the Midwest, and specifically Chicago, is probably one of the most affordable cities. That's what keeps me here. Besides, I have family here as well, but um, yeah, Midwest is known for having more affordable rent. So yeah, so okay, well, let's we're kind of running down on time. I wanted to mention about Shaquille O'Neal. So Katie, did you hear that Shaquille O'Neal is a majority owner of a franchise called Big Chicken?
Big
And I guess
chicken, huh?
yeah, it's a chicken restaurant, and I've never had it. It looks like it's quite tasty, but he's actually opening up one here in Illinois in Rosemont. So that's pretty exciting.
Mhm.
I and let's just here. Let me just see what they have. Uber Eats delivers for them, and it looks like they're chicken sandwiches. Remember we went through that chicken sandwich craze? Remember the Popeye was between the Popeyes and KFC, and I even think that McDonald's tried to get their put their hat in the ring on there. So
I'm not big. I mean, I'm not real big on the fast foods. I guess there was a time in life that I was,
mm-hmm,
but I'm not real big on the fast food. The crave with that chicken sandwich from Popeyes.
mm-hmm.
Girl, there was a time when I used to love me some Popeyes chicken. I used to think that I was. This is what I had in my head, because I like to do comedy and I like to joke. Honey, I was gonna go
Mm-hmm.
down to New Orleans to that Popeyes chicken where they always make the commercial.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this
I
probably in
like
a
the
studio.
spokeswoman. I think she's
I
from
do
down there.
too.
She
I
has a
do
little
too.
southern
But I know
accent
there's,
going on.
there's probably all in the studio, and the studio could be anywhere. It could be next door. I don't know. It
Mm-hmm.
could be. But I used to dream that I was gonna go down there, and I was gonna run up in there and jump up in the air and put a chicken wing in my mouth and bite off of it, and then look around and
Oh
say,
my
"I
God!
love that chicken for Popeye."
So did your dream come true, or
Girl,
you
no.
forgot about it? You said forget about
I
that.
forgot about. I mean, I used to every time I would see a commercial, just thinking of something silly. But I might put that out there on TikTok.
Oh my God! So here's the question. Though. I guess reading about this,
Um,
I have a thing about celebrities and they're kind of like not really um reaching back and helping and remember where they came from. Why the heck did Shaquille? I mean, he's not from Chicago, true enough. But why did he open this up in Roselle, or not Roselle, in Rosemont, and not in the city of Chicago? I mean, well, getting back to that pay rate, we know that had it been in Chicago, he'd have to pay them $15 an hour. Okay,
Girl,
so perhaps
I love the way you think. I love the way you
might
think.
be something to do
I'm
with
gonna
it.
win
But that's horrible, though. I mean, you should be trying to uplift. He knows the economic problems that we're having, especially in some of the neighborhoods in Chicago. Why not give underserved communities a chance to thrive by providing something like that? That was a missed opportunity, I think.
it. Okay, well, Shaquille owns everything, girl. Just think about
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yep.
I think he owns who owns Elvis Presley. Yeah,
Yep. It's a big deal. He has to pay them $15 an hour. He can afford it.
yeah, he owns. Listen, he's got some big old feet and hands and everything. He
Yep.
was he was very listen. He had a very wise mentor who have showed him how to invest his money.
I'm glad he
Okay,
listened to them. I mean, just on a
I'm
personal level for
serious.
him. Yeah.
If you get a chance, you all can Google his name, and you will be surprised at some of the things that he owns. Now, I ain't talking about just got a stake in. I'm talking about
That
the
he actually
things
outright owns it.
that he
Yep.
already owns. And then the other thing, he has a very big stake in quite a few companies.
Yep.
So he
But
isn't
that makes it even more distressing. I mean, he needs to do more for the black community. I think that
he is an
he's missing
investor.
that.
Yep, but he is an investor. And before they decided to put that chicken franchise in Rosemont, believe me, they'd already did their homework. He probably had
Oh,
hired
absolutely.
one of the best marketing firms there is,
Mm-hmm.
to come to Chicago and do all the different types of surveys they do before they decide to open up a business. So
Yep.
I'm quite
I mean, I
sure.
must admit, I am curious. I do want to see what it's. I mean, I'm not really a big fast food person, but I like chicken, so I'll have to at least see what the hype is all about.
Yeah, well, that has to be done now. That got to be
hmm
done. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was all I had.
That was all you had. Well, I really didn't have a lot, but I hope everybody saw President Biden's speech about the voters right now.
hmm
That bill was sitting there when what's his name, John. Lewis died. It was
Oh my
sitting.
God. So it's been there. It's been there a while.
It's been there a while, but you know what my thing is? Why do we have to every year go back, every so many years go back and amend or do something to this bill? Make this bill a law.
Right. It should be
Because it's
something that's
not a
permanent.
law.
Absolutely.
See, once it becomes a
Absolutely.
law, we don't have to worry about what's wrong with making the voters' right act so everybody have equal access to go and vote their choice.
Yep.
What's wrong with that?
Yep.
I
Yeah.
can't
It should
understand
not
it.
be where it's something that's coming up for, every so many years. I mean,
Yeah,
that should be kind of,
why is
solidified.
that? Why is it? That tells you something about okay, about the government. I
Hmm.
don't want to go there. I don't want to go
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I mean, in the same kind of vein, what about the fact that Roe versus Wade is coming up again? I mean, I thought that that was what was it back in the 70s. I thought that battle had already been fought. So
there. I am
now it's coming up again. So it just makes me wonder. And I mean, I'm not a constitutional or specialist in the Constitution, but I'm just wondering why are we having to fight these continually fight these battles? And what about slavery? I mean, gosh, is that
You
gonna
want to
come up
know why
again where
we
we
are?
have to fight
Hey,
for
but
that?
you want to listen? Somebody said the Republicans don't want us to vote. Our vote is our
Oh,
power. It
absolutely.
definitely is.
And you know what the proof of that one is? Is this doggone gerrymandering that happens. I actually looked at a map just for my congressional district,
Hmm.
and it's crazy the way that, I mean, it has so many dips and turns in the map that just don't even make any sense. Well, not looking at it, but then a lot of these politicians, especially Republicans, they understand who is where. They understand where their demographic is going to be. If it wasn't for gerrymandering, they would not win another election, and that's what they're afraid of. The majority of the people
Okay.
really are left leaning or Democrats.
Mhm. And I wanted to say to you about. I think I was talking about the Voters' Right Act,
Mm-hmm.
and oh no, you brought up the Roe v. Wade.
Yep.
I have to say this, my opinion. I love saying this. Congress, stay out of my vagina.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. You know what?
Absolutely.
Do you know there are no laws on the books that tell a man what to do with his penis? Now,
That's
I want
that's
check
very
it
true.
out. Check it
Yep.
out. There are no laws that tells a
Exactly.
man how to use it, what to do with it, when to use it,
Hmm.
when to cut. I mean, there are no laws. But there's a
Absolutely.
law on the book that can tell me how to use my vagina. And I'm saying, I think they should leave it alone.
Yep. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. We get beat up enough.
And listen, we get beat up, and we are the fabric that help this world keep reproducing. We are, I mean, our reproductive system. I mean, a man supplies the sperm, it unites and it forms what is it, a fetus, right?
Hmm. Yep.
And that fetus has to be incubated.
Yep.
Somebody's got to
Yep.
carry it until it's
We're
ready.
nurturing it for 9 months.
Talk to me,
Absolutely.
girl. Okay.
Hmm.
I want you to get out of my vagina and don't be telling me what to do with it. Cause
Yep.
when you drop your sperm, you go.
we, we need to get t-shirts, Katie. Get out of my vagina.
I know I make it sound funny, but I be serious. You
Yeah, no, I mean, you have a very valid point. There are no laws that, other than that tell people what to do with their body.
know. Okay, we got somebody say you are the fabric. See, and
Yes,
that
thank you,
came from
Joseph
a
Davis Jr.
man,
Yes, yes,
Joseph
thank you.
Davis Sr. He know that women are
Senior,
the fabric, girl.
we are the fabric.
Yes. So that's my last statement on that one. I'm gonna leave that for you. But Congress needs really, if you think about it, Congress says the good old days was always ran by men, the country.
Hmm.
Now that there are women who have started to win seats in Congress and in the Senate, and even Kamala Harris being vice president, Oh, did something happen? Did I knock us out? Oh no, no, there we are.
No, I think you were just a little pixelated there
Okay.
for a second.
Kamala Harris being our vice president, and then having Barack Obama as the first black president. I mean,
Hmm.
they're not used to that, and they don't want to change. They don't even want them women up there. They
Yeah.
don't want them up
Well,
there.
there
They want
there
they
is a
want a dictate.
seismic. Oh, absolutely. There's a seismic shift happening in society, and I think that's if we want to talk about like white supremacy and all that. I mean, and it really kind of feeds into or feeds in exactly to what you're saying, Katie, is that the demographics are shifting. The country is becoming browner.
It is.
It's not male dominated, and it's that's changing the male domination where it's more of an equal. And I think that the people that are, you have some of these, let's call it what it is, old white men that are in Congress, they're having trouble, dealing with that. And not just them, people that have kind of come up under that. So you look at the, oh, what is that? Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mean, she's, relatively, young woman. But I think she felt comfortable, and people like her feel comfortable under that whole white supremacy sort of construct that we've had in this country. And so not letting it to go. I mean, and not just it's also very patriarchal as well. So they kind of feed into that. So anything that's different, they want to fight against it. But I say eventually, I mean, it's things are changing. They're gonna die off. There is gonna be a change.
They will listen. They will never. Believe me, they ain't gonna never die. It's always one somewhere lurking. It's just like a doggone flea. If you don't get rid of the nest, they'll come. I,
Yep.
I, I'm saying it in a comical way, but listen, it's
No,
the
it's true.
truth. If you
Yep.
don't kill that nest where those fleas are, they will lay dominant. They will just lay
Hmm.
there. But baby, wake them up.
Yep.
And they
And
most
that, you know what? And that leads to the next point. The next point is that 2022, this is a midterm year, right? We have elections coming up for Congress.
that's
It
right.
is so vitally important, especially our young people, to get out there and vote. I mean, voting is just we can't get comfortable. Just like you said, there's all it takes for it's like when or like it's like cancer. If a person they get a surgery, if the surgeon leaves even just one cell in, it can propagate. So hate and white supremacy is the same thing. You have to stay on top of things. And the way that you do it in a democratic society is voting, making sure that you're voting these people out, because just we already know statistically there are more Democrats than there are Republicans. And I won't even call it Democrat Republican. Well, let's call it left wing and right wing. You have
Okay.
more left wingers than you do right wingers. So it's just constantly getting in there and staying on top of it and voting, not just I think people got that's how Trump got in, is that people, we came off of having 8 years of, black president, and we're like, oh, we're good. And, I think people kind of let up and didn't really pay attention to politics, and they didn't take Donald Trump seriously. They figured, oh, they will never elect this guy. Well, we were so wrong for that. I mean, I voted, but I really didn't think that he would win.
I did.
Um,
I knew that they listen, girl. This is the way you have to think. I ought to be ashamed of myself, but I ain't. This is the way you have to think for real. This country has always been ran by the good old boys.
mm,
Okay, they are not. We're not gonna let a woman come up in the White House, honey, and tell them how to change their socks.
mm,
It wasn't happening.
yep.
They wasn't gonna allow her to go and sit up in there. Oh, girl, are you kidding?
So we underestimated patriarchy is really what happened,
Right.
and grossly underestimated. The majority of the people, I mean, no one even imagined it. Even his followers didn't think he was going to win.
Uh,
Actually,
listen, I don't know why they were not going to allow a woman to be elected. Girl, I mean, there was too much heat going on.
so okay. So let me ask you this question then. So
Mhm.
now, fast forward five years, do you think that we have a better chance of having a female president now?
Not really.
No.
No, no.
Yeah.
Listen, anything that's been in Congress or the Senate before the home computer came to the market, they should get out. Because there's some people been elected, been there before that home PC. You could go buy one in the store. They've been in Congress longer than that.
Oh my goodness.
It's
Yeah.
time for
Well,
them
that
to go.
and that goes back to term limits. I think that it's
Yeah,
crazy that some of
yeah.
these people have like we talked about last year. I mean, he's on the left, but Bobby Rush had been in office since I think
Yeah,
96 or 97.
and I
That's too long.
and I
That's too
love
long.
and I love Danny Davis, but it's time for Daddy to go home and enjoy that
He needed to
picture.
go.
Okay, it's
I'm
time.
really not quite sure what he's done. I mean, if anyone could let us know, like, what are some of his accomplishments, and what has he accomplished, in the House, I would love to know that. You can't tell in the communities that he's supposed to serve that there's been any improvement. In fact, most of the communities that are the ones in need have
Hmm.
really kind of downgraded. So, yeah,
I
let me know what he's
don't
done
have
because I don't see
I,
it.
I don't have nothing bad to say about him because I'm gonna tell you that he is a congressman. If we call upon him to do
Mm.
something or get some advice, I'll tell you one thing: they will. They ain't like your alderman. They will pick up the phone and they will get in touch with you.
Right,
Your
which is
congressman,
fine.
but your alderman, girl, you can leave messages on top of messages. Sometimes most time the thing is full. I don't even believe they clean it out.
But you know what though? It depends on where you live. Because I remember so this happened. This is a funny story. This was back in the beginning of the pandemic and I was living in the West Loop. And
Okay.
I would, pass this yoga studio every day. This yoga studio, I'm not even gonna say who, what type of yoga it is, but
Mhm.
someone will probably figure out what I'm talking about when I say it. But anyway, the originator of this yoga was thought of is known for or has a reputation, I'll say, of being kind of a male chauvinist and a bit of a narcissist. Okay,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
anyway, do you remember back in the beginning of the pandemic, all health clubs and gyms were supposed to close,
Right,
right?
right, right,
And
right.
that was just like no exceptions. They were all supposed to close. But anyway, I would pass by this gym or this yoga studio every day. Walking my dog, and I noticed, and this is during the beginning of the pandemic. I see people walking out. They have their yoga mats and their water, and I was like, wait a minute now. And let me just say this: it's hot yoga as well. So not only people are in there, they're breathing hard, they're sweating. I'm thinking, oh my God, this is like a breeding ground for corona.
Hmm.
So anyway, so I saw that. I was like, oh, this just can't happen. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna call my alderman. So my
Ooh.
alderman, I called him, and this is for I think his name is Brendan Riley. For part of his district is the West Loop. So anyway, so I called him. I left a message or whatever. They actually called me back, and shortly after that, they they were closed down. So,
What?
but here's the whole kicker of it though is that it depends on your community and it
Hmm.
depends on how active the other people are in the communities because I know even like on the north side I kind of lived all over the city. I know up there the constituents and they're very active. They get things done, but then you have some neighborhoods. Let's say I don't know. Let's just say we'll pick on
Pick on Austin.
Inglewood, for example. Let's just say Inglewood, for example. People are not they're not communicating with their alderman. The majority of the people you might have some people that might speak out, but they're not demanding any actions. And I think this is what the problem is that so the aldermen they know that so they can pretty much do whatever they want to do. They have a kind of a free ride. They're getting paid. They're collecting a check, and their constituents are not really demanding that they make change because you better believe, like you see what's happening with the the carjackings on the north side. those people, they've gotten to the point where they're even hiring their own security. Okay. And they're lighting up those aldermen's phone lines and emails and everything else and making sure that they do something. And now, you have these, they're actually catching more people with the carjacking. So it's what's the saying? The squeaky wheel gets the oil. And, people need to start doing that in other communities and really, holding their butt to the fire. And most importantly, stop reelecting these people that are not doing anything for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, you said your magic word. You said you live where? In the West Loop.
Right. Well, absolutely. But
Well, I
the
mean,
people,
that carries the West Loop. That carries a lot of weight. And another thing is they jump down. There's a lot of money down there,
yeah, yeah,
girl.
that's
Yeah.
true.
Listen, that West Loop in Skid Row.
Mm-hmm.
Oprah walked up in Skid Row and turned it all way around.
She
Okay?
turned it out.
Oprah went over there and put that studio up. And what
Yeah.
happened?
What is Ann Peterson? She says, vote them out. Absolutely. Vote them
Okay.
out. That's why it's
But
critical.
Oprah put that studio up, that studio up on
Yeah,
what was
Harpo Studios.
Harpo, right?
Which
Once
left. They're
she
not even there anymore. But she
girl,
left her mark.
once she left, but
Mm-hmm.
when she first put the studio up, it
Yep.
started gravitating. I saw all kind of little green things start growing up, grocery store,
Mm-hmm.
apartment
Oh yeah, there
buildings,
was nothing over
condos,
there. Really. You're right. It was
everything.
Skid Row.
Right, because I used to drive the bus down through there. People used to be
Wow.
sleeping on the street, little transit hotels. She went down there
Mm-hmm.
and turned all of that around. So that her
Wow.
buying that piece of property, everything down in that area, it turns around.
It sure did.
So when you call
It's
your
pretty
alderman
phenomenal,
for
actually.
something, bam, he's right on the case. Call the alderman over here on the west side. Let me
Yep.
shut up.
Like, well, here's another thing. I'm gonna call out a specific alderman,
Go ahead.
Walter Burnett.
He seems like a nice guy.
Um, he's a nice guy, but part of his ward is in the West Loop, and part of it is in the near West Side.
Oh,
I'll ask you a question, and you answer it. Which part of his ward do you think gets most of his attention and money?
standing in that west loop.
Exactly. And why? There's money, in it, and the people are demanding more too. So it works both ways. You can't. It's almost like you can't expect them to look out for their constituents and have them, in mind when they make decisions. It's almost like you kind of have to have this adversary relationship with them and constantly just kind of hammer on them and make sure that
I
they do
don't
what
think
they
that
what they say they're
I
going
don't
to do.
think you should have to kiss their behind. I mean,
Oh, absolutely. You
they
definitely should
might
not.
kiss your behind when they want
Oh,
you
they
to
need
vote
to.
for 'em, okay?
Yep.
But if you are managing a ward and you know how many square feet is in your ward, you know where it stops and where it ends.
Mm-hmm.
Your ward should look uniform, okay? It should be something in the ward, all of it, that makes it bond and belong together. I
Yep.
shouldn't ride through Francis's neighborhood and it looks like one thing, and then I ride through the next neighborhood and his butt is too lazy to fix the streets and the alleys.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, and you're right. They discriminate where they put their dollars, and that's why they need to be voted out. They need
Absolutely.
they need some young blood.
Yep. And
Okay,
accountability. True accountability.
absolutely, absolutely. Okay, let
Yep.
me shut up, girl. I better go lock my door.
So they're coming after you, Katie.
Well, listen, everybody has to understand these are just opinions, and opinions are like assholes. Everybody got one,
Everybody has one.
and I'm an
Yep.
asshole that has one. Oh,
Oh, you're something else, Katie.
yeah. Okay, is there anything else we
I
need to
think
say
we've
about
covered
this?
we've covered the gamut. I'm opinionated, Lorie.
And I'm Katie Lowe. Listen, and we thank you for logging in to Rhythm Flow Radio live stream right here on Meta Facebook, live YouTube, and Spreaker. You can also catch us on most streaming apps even iHeart. Okay.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
all you have to do is go to Rhythm Flow Radio, and then you can see all of the shows that are on the podcast, and you will find opinions with Katie Lowe, and
Opinionated Lorie.
you will find in the basement with Macklemore with Brian and Steve. You will find brothers standing together with Raymond Richards, and you will also find the Lady Petite live stream show with Lady Petite and DJ Mac. Okay, so until next time, you know what that song say? It's not too late.
It's
Hey,
not too late. That's
let's
right. We'll see you
batter.
next week, guys.
All right.
Okay.
They want you to play by their rules. Don't let nobody tell you what you can or cannot do. Just make your own decision and do whatever you want to do. Don't let nobody tell you what you can or cannot just make your own decision and do whatever you want to. It's not too late. What you wanna do, what you wanna do is not too late. What's stopping you is not too late. What you wanna do, what you wanna do is not too late. What's stopping you is not too late to dream. No, not too late to be. No, not too late to have it. Just reach up and grab it.